Hey, it's Dale Luke here, and welcome to Review Wednesdays, where we are taking a look at a bunch of products from Temu. Now, if you want the classic Talksteer content, the car detailing and fixing things up, be sure to check out the videos that are released every Friday, where I will be working at the moment on the Alpha 159. Now, talking about the Alpha 159, we're going to be using some of these products on the 159 because these are detailing products, and I'm going to use it to test it because the Alpha is absolutely filthy. Now, Temu have very kindly sponsored this video and sent all these products out. There's about £150 worth of products here. But as always, my thoughts and feedback are my own. They are not expecting me to say anything in particular about any particular product in this video. With that being said, if you want to check it out, there is a link in the description below. Now, what do we have here? Well, most of them, like I said, are detail orientated, and I'm kind of making the situation around the house, the detailing setup, as pain-free as possible. So I kind of want to upgrade my hoses because I think I have leaks. So I'm going to be sticking some splitters in there and everything to give me more access easily to a lot of the stuff I have. As well as got some exterior detailing stuff, interior, and some old favourites from the last Temu video I did as well. So I've just brought these over because they're really good. And if you're watching a detailing video, this stuff's probably quite useful to you as well. But if you want to check them out in more depth, there's a link in the pop-out banner above if you want to go and check out the dedicated Temu video on these products, amongst many others. So go out 20 products here. Let's get out there in the garden and show you what they're all about. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Temu, they're an online retailer that supposedly offer high quality products at bargain basement prices, and that's exactly what we're going to be putting to the test in today's video. On top of that, you're quite often going to find on their website or app like 90% off flash sales or lucrative voucher codes you can apply to your baskets for big discounts. They also offer 90 days free shipping and returns, as well as accepting most major credit cards and pay later schemes like Klarna and Afterpay. Also, new app users can receive a £100 value bundle coupon using the code in the description below. And finally, if you want to check out yourself, the Temu app is available on the Google Play Store and Apple App Store and has a pretty smooth experience and is a well-polished app. Okay, let's kick this off. It's exactly the same as last time. We've got this tier system, S all the way to D. S are those super great products, D are products I definitely won't recommend, and the C product is kind of get what you pay for. It's cheap, but just about does the job. At least it's functional. Anything B and above is a recommended product. So we've got about 20 products to get through on here. I think about 16 of them are new products. Some carried over from last time because they were really good detailing products, and in long-term testing they have still been very good. So they still might be interesting products to you. If you want to check out though, there is a video in the pop-out banner above to the last Temu video I did where it's got even more products on there if you want to check them out as well. So starting off with the large detailing brush, I really like this. It was only £5 and it was very well built, had a large handle on the top, and when I was doing interior cleaning, it just cleaned a large area of the car very easily, very quickly, and I just think it was a very good product, especially when you put like all-purpose cleaner or interior detailer on there. It just really cleaned the leather seats up in the dashboard really, really nicely. I wouldn't recommend this on exterior paintwork. It's not got quite the right type of coverage for that. I wouldn't recommend as well on exterior plastics like grills. It's a bit too big for that. You're better off with a small detailing brush for that purpose. But for interior, it's very good, and that's why this is going to go into the A category. Moving on to the next one, we have the 100 pieces micro brush sets. These are kind of like almost like Q-tips, cost and swaps, or if you want to call them. They're very, very cheap, like the 1 cent per application, less than 1 pence. I was expecting a little bit more though, actually. It was one of those products I thought I'd look at and be like, wow, that's super useful. How did I live without these? Wasn't quite that in reality, but there are times I think you would use this and be glad you have them. Because they're so cheap, it's worth buying, I think, just for those few scenarios that you're going to use them every now and again. Maybe like using them like dabbing paint on, like for touch-ups, that kind of stuff. That's where they would actually be quite useful for. Otherwise, I found for most applications, a good detailing brush tends to do a better job. So that's going to go into the B category, purely because they're so cheap. Next up is the foam spray can at £5.65. These, again, very, very good products. I like this. It was a very good way of putting the all-purpose cleaner that I was using on the car mats. It's got a nice fan, it's got a good amount of pressure behind it, holds 2 litres of liquid, and I just thought it was really good value for money, especially because it feels quite well built. Even if this was £10 on Temu, I would say it's a very, very good product. So I'm going to put it straight into the A category because I really can't fault it. It was very close to being an S tier, actually. It's borderline, to be honest, but very nice product. After that, we've got the 30 pieces melamine sponges, which if you are a subscriber of the channel, if you've watched my detailing videos, you know I kind of love these sponges. I buy them from everywhere and always use them. These ones were so cheap. £1.16 for 30 pieces, so it's like less than 4p per piece. The amount of bang for your buck you get of one of these is just, out of any detailing products, is just phenomenal, especially at this price. These actually tend to be one of the better melamine sponges I've used as well. These were quite durable. Most of the ones I have, I mean, they're sacrificial anyway because they're abrasive. So if you don't know what they do, you're meant to kind of like, it's almost like a very, very, very fine sandpaper, like 5,000 grit. So it's very good at getting dirt off without scratching things. And because it's a sponge, it can hold liquid in it. But they do wear down quite quickly. These ones, not too much though. They did actually do a lot of cleaning on the Alpha. The wheel was very nice when it came up. The seats were good. I went through 1 sponge. And normally I'd say I'd go through 2 sponges in that type of scenario the way I was using this. So really like this product. Bang for your buck, really puts this in the S tier because these are the cheapest ones I've found so far and they are pretty good. After that is electric air duster. This is the most expensive product on this list at £25. Now this is kind of those cans of compressed air you get for blowing out keyboards or computer components or interior parts of the car. Instead, this one's battery powered. It's got 3 levels on it. Not quite as powerful as a compressed gas one, but for most people, it's actually still quite powerful. I liked it because it did do a good amount of cleaning. On the downside, the build quality was lacking a bit. It wasn't awful, but I was expecting a bit more for the money. And the biggest problem was the nozzles. They weren't machined to a tight enough tolerance to fit in properly. So when you've got the blower on full, I mean, don't forget air's blowing through these nozzles, so it's trying to push it out anyway, and you're moving your wrist, they kept falling out. So I had to use a little bit of Tessa tape around the outside to make the nozzles a little bit bigger. After that, they were fine, nothing fell off, but really it shouldn't be something I'm having to alter, especially at £25. Because of that, I can't really put this in the A category. Its performance is A level, but unfortunately, those other things just drop it down a category. So it's a B tier product, even though it's still very useful. Next up, rechargeable LED torch. This is aluminium construction. It's got some really strong magnets on it. A USB Type-C rechargeable, and it's got basically 2 modes. It's got torch and it's got work light. The torch doesn't have multi-brightness or any of that kind of stuff, which I kind of like because it's in your pocket. It's quick on, quick to the next mode, and that's it. It's like 1, 2, off, and I quite like that just for a quick inspection thing. So I like this, couldn't fault it. If this was £5, it would be an S tier product, but at the moment, it's just the way it is. It's A tier, but really nice products. Next up is the Fourway tap splitter. Now, the next bunch of products I'm going to be looking at in this test, they're all kind of to do with garden hoses and my outdoor detailing setup. So I'm trying to make a better setup outside my garden. I want to make all my hoses more convenient, add some more outlets and stop some leaks. So I wanted some good quality brass fittings and just try and get a nice quality setup out there. So the first thing I wanted to start off with was the Fourway splitter. This is going to go into my garden tap and then everything is going to come off this. So this was very, very good. Honestly, very good. It's fully brass, fully metal construction. There's nothing plastic in there. And it just didn't leak whatsoever. It's got a PTFE tape with it. It just feels like one of those products that was going to last a long time. It's not going to end up in a landfill. It's sustainable. It's much better than the plastic counterpart you're going to buy. I really like this product. Really can't fault it. And because this is the hub everything's connecting into, it's important that this was right, and it is. So this puts it into an S tier easily for me. Now, next one is a 10-meter garden hose. This looks alright on the pictures. Apparently it's got 3-tier construction, so you'd expect it to be quite tough. It just wasn't. Now this was going to go down the side of my house. It's going to be attached to the wall, so it's not going to be moved once it's in place. The thing is, because it was so thin, if you were moving it, if you were dragging it around the garden, if you ran over it with a car, if you puncture with if you got a rose thorn into it, it would probably puncture it. So I really didn't think this was a good product. I actually think it was a little bit overpriced as well, at £15.48 compared to something I've got later on the list. So I wouldn't recommend buying this, but it was functional at least. It wasn't completely rubbish. It's going to do the job for me. It's going to stay on the wall. I'm not going to take it down, but I wouldn't buy it again. So it's going to be a C tier product. Next up is a 90-degree elbow. This was kind of designed to come off that hose near my front gate and give me a kind of a tap to point down where I put other attachments in. In reality, it did nothing but leak. It was as watertight as the Titanic is today. And I honestly don't know what was wrong with it. It came out at both ends. I tightened up on my pliers. I put the PTFE tape around it. Nothing else I tried had a leak, but this one sure did. I just could not recommend it in the slightest. It's going to be a D tier product, so avoid that one. What was meant to go into was this, a Y splitter. So give me like 2 outlets from one. This works really well. Absolutely no problems, no leaks. It's built well. A couple of things against it is, for example, in this picture here, it shows you that you've got a couple of male connections at the end of the tap. It doesn't have that with my one at least. And also you can see there's a little bit of plastic on there. Now at the very top you've got like the plastic where it looks like it connects into the tap. That's actually metal up there. It's just like a rubber sleeve that goes around it. So that's still good. But you have got the plastic on-off switches, which are not as nice as the brass ones you got on the four-way splitter. And when you compare the price of this is a £10.28 for a two-way, or a four-way's £15 or £16. I feel like the four-way one is much better value for money. When you take that in comparison as its benchmark, this is a couple of tiers lower. Even though it performs really well, I probably would have just bought another four-way one, knowing the difference in what you get for your money. So yeah, a B tier product, but still a good product. And I think the plastic construction of the on-off taps won't pose any problems, but it's still not quite as good as the metal construction. Next up is the 4-piece quick connectors at £14. And I thought these were pretty good. Honestly, I didn't have any issues with these. Absolutely no leaks. I honestly think, though, they weren't a bargain. So, yeah, they're going to last long term. They're sustainable. They didn't have a stop valve on, which you may or may not want. So, yeah, I think there might be better stuff you can buy out there. But I also think that if you bought it, you'd also be quite happy with this. So I'm going to put this in like kind of a solid B tier category. Next up after that, though, is the expanding hose, £11.48. This is very, very good quality construction, actually. I like this. It was also probably not long enough for my needs, but that was my fault. They do much longer variants. I should have probably bought at least a 15 or 20 metre one. The idea was I can keep my detailing bucket, I can plug into the tap, and then I can just clean the car, throw it back into the bucket. In that regard, it's good. It doesn't tangle, and it feels like it's going to be very durable when you pull it over the floor. And the idea is to get about twice the length of when it's empty. So it's very, very good. It's got nice high quality brass fittings on the end. I think that it'd be nice if one of those maybe had a stop valve on, but it's not really much of a deal killer that doesn't have that. Compared to the other garden hose, this is miles ahead, and it's not really much more expensive per meter. I put this into the B tier, but you know what, guys? I'm actually going to go ahead and put that into an A tier, because I think that tier was a very good product. Let's just drag this to the end, because I don't know if the stuff's come up into the A tier. But yeah, that's definitely an A tier product. But B/A, it's a good product, especially if it's the right length. Next up is the hose gun. The hose gun is really, really good value for money, £6.73. It's fully metal in its construction. And the thing I like about this, it's serviceable. So it's not going to just end up being chucked in the landfill when it starts leaking. You can undo it, you can put new stuff in it, you can fix it. And that's what's really good. And in fact, that's what already happened with mine. Because when I bought it, it had the slightest little leak. I think just the bottom where the hose goes in wasn't quite tight enough. But what I noticed was I was able to undo that at the bottom. Put some PTFE tape in, because it didn't seem to have any PTFE tape. But tightened it all up, and it was perfect. And that's what I like. I could work with it, I could make it better, and in the future, as it gets more and more used, then it's going to be able to, I'm going to be able to go back, fix it up, and just make sure it stays maintained. And that's important to me to have. At the end, you've got this like a nice high quality metal nozzle you can turn to make it into a fan or into a jet. And apparently you can also take that off and put the included foam tank with it as well. You can like dial a ratio between soap and water. I didn't use that, it's not my kind of thing, but if you want that, it comes with it. That's not as well built as the rest of the gun, but £6.73, it was excellent. I'm going to put this down as an S tier category because compared to the plastic crap you can buy from your local supermarket or garden centre for the same price, there's no comparison. So that's all the stuff I bought from there, but now let's move on to some bonus stuff. This is detailing stuff from the last video, which I've done now kind of a long-term test on, and I found to be very, very good. So everything going forward from here is going to be a recommendation from me. So 4-piece spray bottles, they've been very good. They've saved a lot of money because what they can do is allow me to dilute a lot of my different products down, and they can go much longer. So rather than just buying full products off the shelf each time, I can, for example, take an all-purpose cleaner and put that down to 3 different strengths and have them in 3 different bottles. And because it's a clear construction, I can see how much liquid's left in the bottle. So that's really, really nice. None of them are broke. They have a powerful trigger on them, and they are still working really, really well. So I've liked them. £6.50, they were fantastic. So that's going to go up there as an A tier category. And moving on to next was the Telescopic Car mop. £13. Very, very good for cleaning stuff like tall vehicles, like the roofs of vans, some tall SUVs. I'm only the size of Richard Hammond's, so to get to the top of my van, I can't do that with a wash mitt. With this thing though, I can get to it. And it's a soft noodle microfiber. It fits in a detailing bucket and it contours and it rotates, it won't snag on stuff. It's a really good product. I like this. I put this down as, what I give this, an A category, yeah. If this actually was under £10, it would be in an S tier, but very nice product, I like this. Finally, the large interior brush, which is probably my favourite product I've bought off Temu ever. It's £1, and before when I said there was a slime thing, which was a real disappointment, and I had a solution for it, it's this. Buy this instead. It can get in so much more places, it's so much more versatile. It's going to last you, and it's a lot more sustainable to have something like this. The slime's a one-use thing. This should last you years. I buy one of these almost with every order. I've got 4 of these now, and they are great. So they're great for leather seats. They can get into the gaps, and you can kind of like, brush them out and flick them out. It can do all that stuff. It's good for doing large surfaces on the dashboard. It can get into the air vents. I use it here at home on my keyboard. I use it on my desk. I use it all around in different things. I kind of have one in each car now as well. So, love this product. Easy S tier for me. Easiest S tier out of them all for me, that product. So, mostly very happy with everything from there. Again, there's only a few of these which I wouldn't buy again, but the rest of the stuff, I'm happy with the purchases, and I think they're very good. A lot of this stuff on here is sustainable. That's what I like. It's metal. It's not cheap plastic, a lot of it is going to last a long time and is serviceable. So that to me is actually a very, very big advantage that I'm going to have from this stuff going forward. So thank you all for watching this. If you want to check out the other stuff from Temu, there's another video in the pop-out banner above for the last one. You'll see some of these products in there, and there's much more products in that video as well. To Temu, thank you for sponsoring this video and for supporting the channel. It's very much appreciated. I've enjoyed working with you as well, so I hope to see more of you in the future and more collaborations. But until then, thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. If you've got this far in the video, let me know in the comment section below if there's anything you bought. There is one product I do want to bring your attention to though, that someone had a problem with in the last video. Those were the latex gloves. I really liked them. I thought they were really good. My ones are still really good. So I've not really broken any of them. They are good quality. However, someone commented that their ones weren't good quality. They kept breaking every single one they had. Now, I don't know whether this is an issue of quality control or consistency. I kind of want to just bring that to your attention just for the sake of being honest. I want you to have informed decisions. If you're buying this stuff, I don't want you to go ahead and buy something about my recommendation and find out it is not truthful. So I want to bring that to your attention, saying those latex gloves, your mileage may vary, maybe depending on the batch of what you buy. Honestly, don't know. But anyway, just in total transparency and honesty. But until then, anyway, thank you for watching this. And as always, see you soon and take care.